Hi there, Chair. I thought it was worth showing you the data approvals process, just because it'll save us a whole bunch of human error and time if we were to use it. This is on the test server, so when any user logs into Data, Data will present them with any approvals they've got pending. So as you can see, I've got a final assessment pending there, and show them all their approval requests that they've worked on, depending on what role they've had in it. So in other words, they have a view of every approval request they've been involved in. So just for example, I'll see that this one up here is a final assessment QA and it's pending. I'll just have a quick look at it to show you. So I've been assigned in this example as everything, but the product manager has not, in this case, sent the approval on to the next step, which at the moment is a senior manager PDS, but it could be you or anybody we decided. So this one has just been started. It's in the first step, but it's pending because no further action has been taken yet. I'll just go back and just have a look at an approval that's been completed. There's one, just so we can see what it looks like. So what happens is we'll have the history of who approved what, and any comments that were made during the process. Okay, I'm just going to show you how it works now. So the idea is a project manager from the skills points would come into here, would log in. They'd be able to see all their requests, where they're up to. They'd know what state they were in, and what they do is click on create approval request. The system knows who I am. I'm just going to choose a skills point, choose ag. So they choose their training package, their qualification, and I'll just grab anything that I can find, that'll do. Advanced diploma. Then they put in what they want, a final assessment or initial. In this case, I'll make it an initial assessment. They need to put in the product manager, which is themselves in this case. So I'll just put in my name. I'll just find me, and for the everything. So I'll make myself the senior manager, but as I said, this could be head AD, whatever we decided. So again, you put in the next person. These people can be reassigned at any time. And we put in an ID. I'll just use an example. Something I've got open here. I'll put in a real example. So the product resource ID is either what they call the resource ID, or for the purposes of this initial, I could just put in the unit number, for example, and I'd put in any comments that I wanted. Comments etc. They can set the due date. The due date is as per the production schedule. They select the priority, and there's currently we can add any that we want to this, but we have the ASK, or the business critical production cycle. And the last thing they do is put in the file location. I'll just copy a location just as an example. So that's that qual, and they submit the approval request. So that's it. That's the whole process from the perspective of the project manager. They put in those details. Then we have all that information. What happens in the background? Because I'm assigned as a project manager, I come straight to this point. But in the background, there's some emails going out now to the people that were defined. And this is how it comes in. So the project manager double checks everything. Everything's okay. In this case, they'll approve it. They say, "Hi Dave, please review Unit X," whatever it is, Unit X, blah blah, whatever they want to say. They can add an attachment if they want to, and they just approve it and process request. Request will now go on to the next person in the line, which may in fact be you. And because I've assigned myself, I come directly to here. I'll just show you where you find those again. So back here in the approvals, we can see this is the one that I've just started today. So I've just started it. There it is. It's that unit. It's pending. It's in step 2, and the person who has to do the approval will get an email that links them directly to the request itself, or they can come into Data and they can see all the requests they got in their current status. I just put in here, please fix whatever. So whatever it was, I could again attach some more information, like the marked up documents, for example. So any of the we could download off the SharePoint any of these documents and mark them up, and then attach them as many as we wanted to with comments, and send back. In that case, I'd not approve it because they needed to fix something. I'll just go approve. So basically goes back to the PM again, who's me, and they'll need to. They said it's not approved down here. and they'll see whatever comments, and if I had have attached a document, they'd have the marked up documents there, and they basically they have to resubmit the approval request again. So they put in, hi, I fixed X something. They put in they're changing the details they need to. They may have, for example, changed the location, but we'll make the assumption, and they reassign themselves. If they needed to, they could assign somebody else, because in some cases the project manager changes, but in this, I would just assign myself, and I would assign you if you were the person I was coming to. So I just assign myself to that role again. These can be reassigned at any time, these roles. So they've fixed it, and they're going to resubmit the approval. What will happen now, it'll come to the project manager again first. It says it was successful. So there it is again. Now we can see it's up to step 4. The project manager suggests, I've done the fix, whatever, go to the next person, etc., etc. So this continues on and on, as many times as it needs to, until the approval is complete. So then, all good, whatever comments. Add any things and approve it in this case. So I go process next. I can see that it wasn't approved there. Now it's gone to the last step, which is the final approval by the assessment designers. I'll say all good, well done, or whatever. I'm just making this up. We'd have more appropriate comments. Attach anything I needed to. In this case, I'm going to approve it. So that means we will now have a successfully completed process. This now gives us a history of the times, the days, the people, whatever, did whatever. And of course, the important thing is to add appropriate comments. Otherwise, it doesn't have any value. You can copy and paste, for example, any email communications you had in the comments. You'll be able to see any of the documents that were submitted at any time for audit. We can go back and have a look at it. So it's the same with the final review, and I think that gives you a pretty good rundown of how it works. So this request went through 6 steps. It's currently completed, and we can see the approval request ID, etc. The last thing I just want to show you is so although the individuals, no matter what role they have, will have a overview of what approvals are pending their attention, and also what reviews they've already done and what role they played. We have a record of all that information. If you click on the request review, you can see all the details of that. The other thing I want to mention is we also have, as administrators, an overview. This is again on the test server, but we can see here we have also the statistics of these are tests that I've done. I can see currently there are 8 pending. So the administrators and other people we give permissions can have this super view, if you like, of what's going on. So we can see there's 2 completed final QA assessments. There's 8 pending, and there's 8 that have not been submitted. This means that the process hasn't been completed. That's the initial QA. I can see that two's been completed, there's none pending, and so I just want to mention that we do have the information. We can export this as CSV, by the way, as well, to get full reports on this stuff. So we can keep an eye from Excel using CSV if we want to. We can output that data, but we can also get visualizations of what's going on. And of course, people with the right permissions, like myself, get to see, I can see all the requests, as can other people with the right permissions. So we'll be able to view all the requests, all 115 is the case with on the test server. Okay, I just thought that was worth showing as well, so we can so you can see we can keep an overview of what's going on as well.